Hey everybody, welcome to This Pink Cloud. I am DJ Kelly Reverb. I am super excited to have this guy on as he takes a belt off his alcoholic beverage, right? Because you're tailgating life, my brother. That's what I remember from the last episode you were on. You go, just tailgating life, man. But anyway, everybody give it up for, I like to call him the people's champ, Mr. Josh Jordan. How are you, bud?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good to be back.
Yeah, well, it's been a while. A lot of stuff has happened. You know, life keeps on lifing, brother.
Yeah, dude.
And now you're living under the stairs like Harry Potter.
Yep. This is my closet right here.
I like it. Oh, dude, that was a good power move right there. When you lean back and you go, yeah. And then I have to point out the anime, right, dude?
Yep, the Forest Spirit.
I like it. And then is that a participation trophy?
So I was in a medieval times reenactment.
Okay, it just keeps getting better.
And I won first place. Let's see. This is a Champion of the Realm.
Okay.
2025 TAP State Conference.
Fun stuff. Okay, where are you working now? Because you are in the recovery industry, right?
Yep.
I mean, I want to talk about that, but then also, we also lost a mutual friend, Ricky, and kind of wanted to touch on that because life is a gift, and life is short and not always predictable.
Yeah.
And I guess that's kind of the fun of it, right?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Its shortness makes everything matter.
There you go. I like it. But so why don't you go ahead and tell the people just a little backstory on W.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, I am from Oklahoma. I've been sober for about 11 years, and getting sober is part of why I live in Texas. And so I moved down here to get sober. I went through a program called Burning Tree Ranch, and I was there for a really long time, and it changed everything for me. And now I'm in Dallas, and I've got 3 kids.
So I got to ask, what did it change? Everything. You just go everything, dude. That was a blanket statement.
It changed everything. It changed my physical health. It changed the way that I live every day of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Like some of the lowest hanging fruit and kind of like easiest is discipline.
Okay.
While I was at Burning Tree, I went through all 12 steps in order.
Mm-hmm.
And each of the promises associated with 9 of the 12 promises that have steps, or the steps that have promises, came true. And so that, coupled with like all of the stuff that goes on there every day, like peer-to-peer accountability and waking up and keeping our rooms clean and being on time to group and holding one another accountable every day for almost a year, it just started to shift, like what I thought honesty meant, what I thought integrity meant, and the development of those characteristics or character traits and principles, the practicing of those at like a really microscopic level. I remember I was in that little petri dish of at the time we would have called it brainwashing and behavior
right. Well, I mean, we all know that AA is, or Alcoholics Anonymous is a cult. So, yep. I mean, it's just like fist bump, dude, handshake. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're in.
Yep. Well, and in terms of brainwashing, when I got there, like my brain could have stood for a wash. You know what I mean?
Well, and I love that you say that, because we we could all use a little bit of you know, positive reprogramming, I guess we could say.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and they would do stuff like we'd be sitting every Monday through Friday, we'd sit in this little community group, and your roommate would be like, "Hey, Josh, when you um, are really noisy in the middle of the night, I feel angry." Or, "Hey, Josh, when you're not getting your step work done, I feel fear." And so they would use this really specific language to just like hold up a mirror and be like, "Okay, cool.
Right.
You're sober today. You're in rehab." You know what I mean? Like, this
Mhm.
is my experience. This is the stuff that brings me concern.
Mhm.
And as a result, I started asking myself, a good example is with being late to stuff. Feels really insignificant, right? It's like, hey, I'm here because if I don't stop doing heroin, I'm going to die.
Right.
We
And
need you
that
to
was the
go.
main DOC, right?
Yeah, heroin and alcohol. And I,
Yeah.
crash land into treatment, sick as a dog. And
Mhm.
almost immediately they're like, hey, be on time to group. And I'm like, I got bigger things to worry about. And,
Right.
and so you get into it, and in a place like that, you're sitting in this community group, and everybody's getting bringing to you that you're late to stuff, and you're like, the staff stops and goes, "Hey, why were you late?" "Well, I forgot what time I was supposed to be at X group or whatever." And they're like,
Mm.
"You forgot? Is it possible that?" Or no, they'd start by saying like, "Did you forget to eat today? Did you forget to take a breath today? Did you forget to drink water?"
What people don't realize in recovery, there is an incredible amount of sarcasm. I mean, and it's just directed to shit on you too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Well, and they put a bow on it. They're like, I went for a year. I was
Wow.
scrubbing toilets and mowing the lawn. And when I say lawn, I mean the
Right.
cattle ranch. We used push
Okay.
mowers on. Yeah, like there's an intensity to it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
But
I like
when
that
I
you
got
said
there, I
I
didn't know what
also
alcoholism was.
right.
I thought one day I'll want it bad enough, and I ought to go sit somewhere while I'm sick. And then found out that, like, hey, wanting to stay, if you have alcoholism as it's described in AA, and it was written down 90 years ago, if you have that version of alcoholism, whether you want to stay sober or not, you're going to drink again. And when I discovered that 3 weeks into being there, after four other treatment centers and all this stuff.
Okay, first off, I love that. So dive into that
Okay.
because I mean, honestly, we all know the Big Book was written in 1939 by a bunch of people in Cleveland, right? Or thereabouts,
Close
middle
enough. Yeah.
America. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah.
But why don't you dive into that? Because I think that's important, like what you were saying.
I do too. I think like in today, like it's really dangerous to even be an alcoholic, right? It's
Hmm.
dangerous to buy a Xanax and use it to buy any drugs drinking, as far as I can tell, is the same as it's always been for the most part.
Hmm.
I do wonder, even though I wasn't born any different time, but I know that for me as a teenager, drinking a lot was normal, right? Like when we got the opportunity to. I don't know what was normal for my parents' generation or before. I don't know. But, anyways, today it's more dangerous to be out here using drugs than it's ever been
Oh,
because
drugs, period. I mean, and I can go into that full diatribe of where I think they should legalize everything so the bad shit doesn't surface like fentanyl. But
sure.
that's my thought.
Well,
Anyway, side note.
I
fun
just
fun
think that
side note that we could do an entire episode on. But anyway,
I think treatment has become the first frontier, right? And
okay.
not saying good, bad, right, or wrong at all, right? Like I
Mhm.
have kids now. If I think that their physical safety, if I think that them surviving is going to be pulled off by them sitting somewhere for 30 days, I don't, you know what I mean? I'm there. My oldest is 3.5. So I hope we're pretty fucking far from that. But
Right.
just saying, I understand. But when we look at, in 1939, what they were writing down, and the doctors, Dr. Silkworth's contribution, it wasn't really about like, oh, I am physically dependent or I really like to party. Like those two things often did
I don't
occur.
see. I didn't see that verbiage in the book, big book anywhere. I
I didn't
really
see it.
like to
Now,
party.
I think it's a part of the deal. Like at some point we had to have liked to party, or we
Right.
may not have
Right.
ended up where
I
we
just
were.
wish they would have had a chapter on just partying.
We like to party.
You're right.
We talk about whoopee parties. I don't know what the hell that is, but it's in there.
Right. Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Well, you
Uh,
are. I mean, you, dude. You are. Your knowledge far surpasses most. I mean, as far as the quoting the big book,
yeah.
you're good, dude.
Well, and funny thing,
Uh-huh.
that won't keep me sober. And
Right.
if I'm honest, I think that I was just so convinced I was sicker than anybody else that I thought I needed to sponsor as many people as I can, and so I just read it over and over and over and over.
Right.
Um,
You learned the resource material.
hmm hmm But I
Okay.
think that like what I see happen today, different from back then, is like, I was physically dependent, so I went to treatment. While I was in treatment, they told me to, here's a 12-step meeting, here's what it's about. I met somebody or I saw some cute girls or whatever it is that drew me to it. I
Mm-hmm.
did it. I built friendships. I found out what it felt like to, pour other people coffee and take out the trash, and that all
Right.
feels good. And then they're like in a 12-step community, and the whole diagnostic portion could be breezed over in almost every instance. And
Mm-hmm.
someone could still have a positive and even like lifelong experience with.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't ever need to be the policing body that goes into a meeting and is like, do you really belong here? Like, dude, that's never be me ever.
Yeah,
But what
okay.
happened?
I got to say this personally.
Huh?
Um, I felt resentment or lack of street cred from somebody because I wasn't a heroin addict, right?
Yeah,
Right? No, the guy goes, "Oh, so you weren't a real addict," and I'm like, "Okay, first off, go fuck yourself, dude."
yeah,
Like with a capital fuck. And then the thing is like, I mean, dude, the whole book was written about people like me, you know?
yeah,
I mean, and I I I wanted to punch that guy in the throat
yeah.
because I said that. But, let's be honest, there's a little bit of that in the recovery community, period, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He didn't shoot heroin in his neck. Oh, well, he doesn't understand. I'm like, dude, come on.
yeah. Well, if I know anything about people, which I don't know anything about anything. But if
Uh-huh.
I make up any stories about people, is that most of them are just trying to feel safe. And I think we all feel safest when we know we're near people that we can relate with and that,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? And so if I know a lot of newcomers, and I know for myself, I was aggressively seeking out differences because the idea of belonging in a room like that felt unsafe. And then a transition occurred where it was like, oh no, I belong here and this is the only place I'm safe. And then
Mhm.
anybody who doesn't belong here being here might keep me from being safe or might endanger, somebody like me who's trying to get it. You know what I mean? Like where it
Right.
all just becomes this projection of my own desperate attempt to try and feel safe,
Well,
which
your own thought process.
which is a lack of faith, right? Like
Okay.
if we're not all here on accident and there is whatever somebody needs to call it, if there is divine orchestration at any level,
Mhm.
do I, you know what I mean? I like living in a house, and I like not being shot at. I like to be safe,
you,
but to the extent that I
you
need
like
to,
being not shot at?
yeah. Well, I don't know. I've never been shot at, so I guess
Right.
I'm lying
Okay.
right
Right.
now. Yeah. Anyways, well,
uh,
the point I was making earlier is
uh,
like until I understood forgetting is one thing, not making it important enough to do it is
Mhm.
something different, right? Like it's one thing to
I like
it was
I like that.
me too, dude. I
Yeah.
mean, it changed me. It was like,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, so if I can prioritize things, right?
Mhm.
Maybe my feelings less, my integrity more, right? I don't have to gauge whether or not I go to work today off of whether or not, I feel happy. It's like, no, you
Mhm.
just go to work. I mean, be happy, right? Do what you got to do to be happy. Happiness is
Right.
important. But how I feel on a Tuesday when it's cloudy outside doesn't have to dictate the next 10 years of my life,
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
can just show up. So that was cool. I mean, I hope I'm not doing it a disservice by,
Well, no, I mean, I mean, that's insight on, what it was like when you first were on the inside. Yeah.
literally,
Yeah,
literally.
because when I went, man, it was I liked it because I went to a spot called Summer Sky, and no longer around, unfortunately. But it was not five stars. Let's say it was maybe a solid three and a half,
Mhm.
and it was a old nursing home, and but I was just uncomfortable enough because you and I are a little bougie, and it's okay. What me? But anyway, I like a certain thread count,
Yeah.
and I like AC. Let's
Hmm.
just put it at that. And it was just like I was like, I want to get the fuck out of here,
Yeah.
And that was like the reality of it. Like, okay, this is setting in. I'm here for 30 days. Come hell or high water, brother.
Yeah.
So but that was, I think, part of the healing process because, I didn't, if I was like in a super nice $2,000 a day spot, I don't think it would have had the same effect for me.
Right.
But, you know,
Yeah, I get it. Well, and I think also like my alternative to going to treatment was homelessness. And when I found out I was going to be there for a year, it was a
oh,
relief.
you had to go for a year.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I'm like, and I'm talking 30 days,
I
dude.
know.
And you
That's why I'm
went for
sitting
a
here like,
year.
oh, poor Kelly.
Oh, poor you, dude. You had to leave your house in Lake Highlands for
Yeah.
30 days.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so you went for a year, dude.
I went for a year. I was
Wow.
scrubbing toilets and mowing the lawn. And when I say lawn, I mean the
Right.
cattle ranch we used push
Okay.
mowers on. Yeah. Like there's an intensity to it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
But
I like
when
that
I
you
got
said
there, I
I
didn't know
also
what alcoholism was.
right.
I thought one day I'll want it bad enough and I ought to go sit somewhere while I'm sick. And then found out that like, hey, wanting to stay, if you have alcoholism as it's described in AA and it was written down 90 years ago, if you have that version of alcoholism, whether you want to stay sober or not, you're going to drink again. And when I discovered that 3 weeks into being there, after four other treatment centers and all this stuff.
Okay, first off, I love that. So dive into that
Okay.
because I mean, honestly, we all know the Big Book was written in 1939 by a bunch of people in Cleveland, right? Or thereabouts,
Close
middle
enough. Yeah.
America. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But why don't you dive into that? Because I think that's important, like what you were saying.
I do too. I think like in today, like it's really dangerous to even be an alcoholic, right? It's
Hmm.
dangerous to buy a Xanax and use it I mean, to buy any drugs I mean, drinking, as far as I can tell, is the same as it's always been for the most part.
Hmm.
I do wonder, even though I wasn't born any different time, but I know that for me as a teenager, drinking a lot was normal, right? Like when we got the opportunity to. I don't know what was normal for my parents' generation or before. I don't know, but anyways, today it's more dangerous to be out here using drugs than it's ever been
Oh,
because
drugs, period. I mean, and I can go into that full diatribe of where I think they should legalize everything so the bad shit doesn't surface like fentanyl. But
sure.
that's my thought.
Well,
Anyway, side note, fun
well, I just
fun
think that
side note that we could do an entire episode on. But anyway,
I think treatment has become the first frontier, right?
okay.
And not saying good, bad, right, or wrong at all, right? Like I
Mhm.
have kids now. If I think that their physical safety, if I think that them surviving is going to be pulled off by them sitting somewhere for 30 days, I don't, you know what I mean? I'm there. My oldest is 3.5, so we're pretty. I hope we're pretty fucking far from that. But
Right.
just saying, I understand. But when we look at, in 1939, what they were writing down, and the doctors, Dr. Silkworth's contribution, it wasn't really about like, oh, I am physically dependent or I really like to party. Like those two things often did
I don't
occur.
see I didn't see that verbiage in the book big book anywhere. I
I didn't
really
either.
like to
Now,
party.
I think it's a part of the deal. Like at some point, we had to have liked to party, or we
Right.
may not have
Right.
ended up where
I
we
just
were.
wish they would have had a chapter on just partying.
We like to party.
You're right.
We talk about whoopee parties. I don't know what the hell that is, but it's in there.
Right. Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Well, you
Uh,
are I mean, you dude, your knowledge far surpasses most. I mean, as far as the quoting the big book,
yeah.
you're good, dude.
Well, and funny thing,
Uh-huh.
that won't keep me sober. And
Right.
if I'm honest, I think that I was just so convinced I was sicker than anybody else that I thought I needed to sponsor as many people as I can, and so I just read it over and over and over and over.
Right.
Um,
You learned the resource material.
mhm, mhm. But I
Okay.
think that like what I see happen today, different from back then, is like, I was physically dependent, so I went to treatment. While I was in treatment, they told me to, here's a 12-step meeting, here's what it's about. I met somebody or I saw some cute girls or whatever it is that drew me to it. I
Mhm.
did it. I built friendships. I found out what it felt like to, pour other people coffee and take out the trash, and that all
Right.
feels good. And then they're like in a 12-step community, and the whole diagnostic portion could be breezed over in almost every instance. And
Mhm.
someone could still have a positive and even like lifelong experience with.
Mhm.
And I don't ever need to be the policing body that goes into a meeting and is like, do you really belong here? Like, dude, that's never be me ever.
Yeah,
But what
okay.
happened?
I got to say this personally.
Uh-huh.
Um I felt resentment or lack of street cred from somebody because I wasn't a heroin addict, right?
Yeah,
Right? No, the guy goes, "Oh, so you weren't a real addict," and I'm like, "Okay, first off, go fuck yourself, dude."
yeah,
Like with a capital fuck. And then the thing is like, I mean, dude, the whole book was written about people like me, you know?
yeah,
I mean, and I I I wanted to punch that guy in the throat
yeah.
because I said that. But, let's be honest, there's a little bit of that in the recovery community, period, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't shoot heroin in his neck. Oh, well, he doesn't understand. I'm like, dude, come on.
Yeah. Well, if I know anything about people, which I don't know anything about anything, but if
Uh-huh.
I make up any stories about people, it's that most of them are just trying to feel safe. And I think we all feel safest when we know we're near people that we can relate with and that,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? And so if I know a lot of newcomers, and I know for myself, I was aggressively seeking out differences because the idea of belonging in a room like that felt unsafe. And then a transition occurred where it was like, oh no, I belong here and this is the only place I'm safe. And then
Mm-hmm.
anybody who doesn't belong here being here might keep me from being safe or might endanger, somebody like me who's trying to get it. You know what I mean? Like, where it
Right.
all just becomes this projection of my own desperate attempt to try and feel safe,
Well, your own thought process.
which is a lack of faith, right? Like,
Okay.
if we're not all here on accident, and there is, whatever somebody needs to call it, if there is divine orchestration at any level,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? I like living in a house, and I like not being shot at. I like to be safe,
you,
but to the extent that I
you
need
like
to.
being not shot at?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I've never been shot at. So I guess
Right.
I'm
Okay.
lying right
Right.
now. Yeah. Anyways, well,
uh,
the point I was making earlier is,
uh-huh.
like, until I understood. So somebody was telling me in the beginning that when they went to write the book, they said it 3 times throughout it. They're like, our description of alcoholism, the problem as we see it, and I forget the other phrasing, but basically they said when they wrote this book in 90 fucking years ago,
Mm-hmm.
we're not telling the world what alcoholism is. We're telling our own little community and potential people that are interested in being a part of it or learning about it what we mean when we use a word. That's all they're
Mm-hmm.
saying, right?
Right.
We're not telling doctors. We're not telling fucking moms and wives. We're not telling people what alcoholism is or means, right? We've got the DSM 5, which has different diagnostic codes, and it has, what is it, 7 different criteria to see if you have alcohol use disorder. Like,
Right.
there's a ton of different ways, and there's a ton of different meanings. When, like, if I put, my old sponsor used to talk about it, he said, if you put 30, or if you put 100 people in a building with
Mm-hmm.
different, their own bedrooms and whatever, and you gave each of them heroin every day, multiple
Mm-hmm.
times a day for 30 days, medically speaking, how many heroin addicts do you have at the end of 30 days?
I would suggest 100%.
Correct.
Right.
And then they're all going to get sick. They're all going to, shake it out,
Mm-hmm.
have trouble sleeping. Some of them might get sicker than others. It doesn't
No,
matter.
they'll go live on Northwest Highway and Panhandle, and yeah, and maybe do
Dude,
bank
3 of them,
fraud. Yeah.
maybe 3 of them would
Right.
say, hey, I didn't like getting sick,
Right.
but when can I get back in this building? You
Right.
know what I mean? So you got 100 people that the world would say, oh, you're physically dependent upon heroin to not be sick. That makes you a drug addict.
Right.
100 people just
Mm.
because so it could be um, college sports related injury. It could be a car
Oh
wreck.
yeah.
It could be partying. You can develop physical dependence and not in any way qualify to be in a 12-step fellowship. You can do both, for sure. And it
Mhm.
happens, I think, a lot, but one doesn't mean the other. And so as this shift has happened where safety has become more important and treatment is offered more quickly in the face of a
Mhm.
young adult or somebody using drugs of any kind, they end up in a space, they're taken to a meeting, the meeting seems fun and cool, and I'm going to check it out. And anyways, when I was in treatment and somebody was explaining, like, this is what they meant when they said alcoholism, and here are
Mhm.
those diagnosable symptoms: this body and its allergy, this mind and no longer believing that the body's allergic anymore at some point,
Mhm.
thereby there will be a sudden and unprotected thought that compels you to drink again or use again, even on a day when you're not thinking about it, and even one day, 3 days, 700 days after you decided to never do it again, you will.
Mm.
So not controlling it once I put it in me, and returning to it after deciding not to ever again or anymore.
Mhm.
Those are the 2 qualifying diagnosable symptoms of alcoholism as AA wrote it in that book. And that's the only 2.
Right.
So you can talk about substances, you can talk about physical dependence, you can talk about liking to party or not. Like, none of it, DUIs,
Mhm.
none of it fucking matters. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. What are we talking about?
Right.
And when I found out that second piece, that whole, like, hey, even if you've decided to never do it again, if you
Mhm.
have the illness described in the book, you will. I
Mm.
was like, well, that's you. Now you really sound like a cult.
Dude, fuck you, man.
Yeah, you sound stupid.
Fuck
If you
you,
had,
1939 people.
and I got mad. There was a treatment
Oh, I
lady.
like this. Okay, you got mad. Okay, cool.
Yeah, there's a lady working at the treatment center
Uh-huh.
who's rolling through all of that stuff. And I thought, dude, she sounds insane.
Mm-hmm.
And then later that night, a guy came in to speak, and he just shattered all of it in a moment, talking about choice and like what that actually looks like and whether or not I have it.
Right.
And from there, it was like I had cancer. You know what I mean? It was like, holy shit,
Well,
I'm
and I
going
mean
to lose.
that's the thing that addiction, and it is a it is a disease, and it is considered a disease by medical um whatever. I mean, I was talking to Dusty last episode, so Dusty can dive in on that and go, oh, well, it is a disease and SAMHSA, and quote all that stuff. But yeah,
So that's the thing. That's like the whole point is like it's either an illness
right,
or it's a matter of willpower.
right.
There's no other illness that you just decide after being diagnosed
Right.
with. You
I
don't want it
decide I
anymore.
have. Oh,
You have
hey,
to
guess what?
cure it.
I got cancer. Hi.
I don't because I
Yeah.
don't want it. I'm not going
Right.
to die from cancer that I have because I
Exactly.
don't want to have it.
Right.
What the fuck are
Exactly.
you talking about?
Right. Hey, let's throw in a commercial. I know I want to talk about Ricky.
Cool.
So let's throw the commercial. We'll be right back.
Are you an old fool who's so cool like us? Funky Gold is a network of skilled and hardworking DFW DJs over 40. We gather to create a mutually supportive environment for all members who are doing big things. Our DJs are leaders in the community who bring special skills and opportunities to share. We strive for professionalism in the music business, and we have hearts of gold. Not to mention we have the coolest swag and the funkiest headquarters. If you're interested in learning more about joining the crew, connect with us on Instagram, YouTube, or Gmail at Funky Gold Network.
All right, and we are back. That is Funky Gold Network. Love those guys. Be sure check them out on Instagram. Hey, by the way, we've got some new music out, and here it is.
And we must take the current when it serves or loses our
All right, and that is actually unreleased music by Chad and myself. Chad, who's never here. Anyway, whatever.
I love Chad.
We love Chad. I love Chad. He is highly um, stimulating. That's a nice way to put
I
it.
like
I like that too. But anyway, dude, I love the guy. And dude, I mean, mine and Chad's story is just insane, dude. The insanity, dude. I
Mhm.
mean, you know it, right? Kind of, sort of. Uh,
Mhm.
Anyway, I was doing my pitch, and then all of a sudden it turned into interviewing me, dude. But Chad was a 2018. Chad was an active heroin user. Surprising, right? I was a blackout drunk, like go to my gig blackout drunk. We met there, dude. We met at Sambuca, right, dude? It's insane, dude. Talk about uh God, universe, whatever you want to fucking call it. Dude, this was just like
How did y'all reconnect?
preordained. Huh?
How did y'all reconnect after getting sober?
Oh, dude, so that was great. So 2020 I go to rehab, right? And then I think I had put out maybe like one of our songs, but like a remix. And I honestly, I was like, oh, well, Chad's either dead or in jail. And, knock on wood, it was the latter. And I had little Sheila's number, AKA his mom. And I sent her an email, and she goes, Chad's been trying to get a hold of you. Of course, Chad's like Chad can't keep up with the phone. I mean,
Right,
all
right.
that stuff. So then, I get some of the jail calls. Hey, Okay. This is hilarious. Oh, can you sign my bond? I'm like, really, dude? I'm like, I don't think that's a good idea. But I go, oh yeah, let me ask Waverly, my wife. I go, 'cause that's gonna be a hard fucking no, dude.
Yeah, but we can always use our wives as the
Right, right.
scapegoat.
Oh, 100%, dude. Gotta love it, dude. But anyway, so yeah, we start talking, and then he actually gets out of jail, right? And I had already started the podcast, and this was when we were shooting in the studio. So he's always the engineery type guy, but I mean, it's the level of insanity is just or coincidence. I mean, dude, it's just like, by the way, you guys were meant to be together, dude. Sorry,
Does Waverly know about that?
well, not in that way, but Chad is a beautiful man and is dropping massive amounts of weight and via what is it, terzepatide or whatever. But he's looking good, dude, and I'm proud of him. But like our story is just insanity, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if there was no fate, I mean, dude, I don't know how you could put together a guy. Okay, I'm struggling. I'm miserable. I hate my life. I'm blacking out drunk, DJing, playing open format shit. And then, oh, Chad, hey, do you know how to engineer? Oh, okay, cool. Let's start writing music. And I mean, dude, so right now, I don't know if you know this, but like, and not to brag, but um we're at like 40,000 listeners a month
That's
and
awesome.
100,000 streams on Spotify, dude. Like, I mean, dude, the fucking a high five.
I'm one of those
But
listeners. I listen to
well,
you guys
and I
music.
appreciate that, but I mean, dude, talk about the
That's sick.
fucking ultimate comeback, dude. I was on death's door, dude.
Yeah.
I wanted to die or bridge shop. I was doing both simultaneously very well.
Yeah.
And to come back, I mean, dude, like it's movie shit,
Right.
you know? So
I
anyway, dude, I had to get a little emo there.
like it.
But I'm passionate about it, and that's why I do this show. So because I give a fuck about other people, and hopefully this helps in some weird way. You know what I mean.
I do.
So let's go. I guess if we can get any heavier than that, um, let's. We lost a friend, Ricky,
Yeah.
right? Which was sad. I mean, Ricky was always like a vibrant guy, a huge presence, and not to get into too many details, but I recently had him on the show, and then boom, dude, he passes away like the week it airs. It's just like divine intervention all throughout. I mean, even though I'm not like a huge show or anything like that, but it's just like, well, I guess I guess I just keep showing up and stuff happens for a reason. So, and I just don't question it. But I know you were good friends with Ricky. So uh, to kind of take a left turn, I mean, let's, talk about how that affected you and your maybe a little past history with Ricky.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it broke my heart. I didn't I was not expecting. I mean, it was nowhere near the age where you would expect anything like
Right.
that, right?
Yeah.
So anyways, I was actually out in California near all the sequoias doing this like recovery conference where I got to speak and I was his emergency contact, and so the hospital had reached out to a couple
Right.
people, and
Well,
my
y'all
wife,
had Cardinal House together.
we
If
did, yeah,
people didn't
yeah,
know, yeah, which is a sober living. So,
yeah,
and it's still happening, right?
yeah. So he and I and a guy named Brandon Thibodeau started that in 2017. We started
Mm-hmm.
Cardinal House, and he had like Ricky had moved from Austin. Well, he left Austin. He hung out in Mexico and South America for a while.
Which is always a solid choice.
Well, and it was like this, like
Yeah.
soul searching. He felt a little unfulfilled and was like,
Mm-hmm.
"What am I supposed to be doing here?" So he goes down there, and when he's coming back up to America, he's like, "I'm going to move to Dallas, Texas." He felt like called, so he
Mm-hmm.
does. So Ricky had been sponsoring guys at Burning Tree while I was a client there, and I was going to this home group where I was like the greeter and I had the key. And so I was there every week without fail early. And I'd be standing out front saying, welcome, welcome to Spiritual Lines every Friday night. And he started coming and I was like, hey, I know you. And he's like,
Right.
what? And so um, I was unfamiliar to him, but
He
I
was a legend to you.
exactly. And so I
Right.
just started cutting up with him and we kind of built a friendship.
Well, I love it because, like, I always say that you're recovery famous. Like in the community of recovery in DFW, you're a legend, brother.
Well, and
Yeah.
so part of like I appreciate you saying that, but part of
Mm,
that is not part of it was like the medicine to treat the fact that I couldn't look up from the ground anywhere I went
mm-hmm.
was I had a sponsor who made me shake hands with three strangers at every meeting.
Okay.
And I went to a meeting every day. And so
Mm-hmm.
I met a whole bunch of strangers. And out of those three, I had to get one phone number. He told me to do it for 1 month. And 6 months later, I told him that I had run out of strangers. He
Right.
goes, he goes, what?
What?
And I said, I don't, unless a new person comes to one of these meetings that the treatment center takes us to, I don't see any new people. He
Mm-hmm.
goes, what are you talking about? I said, the assignment you gave me 6 months ago. He
Right.
goes, dude, you're supposed to do that for 30 days. And so I had met everyone. And I was that guy. If you ever been to an AA meeting, there's at least one of them who's just like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I
Right.
don't, hello, I'm going to get in your space,
Right.
introduce myself, and sometimes ask for your number. I had all these
You were like a
rules.
brand ambassador.
And it wasn't like it was
Right.
not out of virtue. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's not out of virtue that I know everybody. It was like
Mm-hmm.
a built habit that was medicine for an issue, which is I
Yeah,
couldn't
for the
make
cure. Yeah.
friends. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that impacted Ricky and I's relationship. We built a
Mm-hmm.
friendship. I remember one time speaking of DJs and shit, Club Dada.
Okay. Yeah.
So Ricky was super gay. If any of
By the
the
way,
listeners know that.
by the way, surprise to everyone, Ricky was super gay. Yeah.
And he had this little like crew that was going to go listen to a DJ at Club Dada. He
Okay.
said, you've got to come with us. You got to come. And I was like, dude, I'm like a year and a half sober, like I don't,
Right. Yeah.
I'm just learning to look up from the ground. I
Right.
don't know. You know what I mean? He's been
I'm
sober
from
for 11
Oklahoma.
years. I'm from Oklahoma. Yeah.
I'm a little homophobic on top of it.
Well,
So
and I was fortunate to not have that going on, but
right.
still the idea of like going with this crew of like loud, fabulous guys to a club was just like,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like that didn't,
Yeah.
the gay part, I loved them.
Yeah.
I just felt really comfortable and safe, but not going there. So we get there and this
Right.
motherfucker has, uh, what's it called? Like highlighter green fishnet head mask on
Okay.
with a bow on it and just he's covered in glitter.
Okay.
And I get there like on time and he's totally sober at the time,
Okay.
already sweating, dancing his ass off.
Right. And this is
Yeah.
Ricky.
Yeah, that's Ricky.
Okay. Okay.
And that
I
was
wasn't
heavy.
sure if that was the DJ or if it was Ricky.
Nope,
So
that was Ricky. I
okay.
didn't know the DJ. I mean, it
Yeah.
was music or something. But anyway, so that's one day Ricky comes to me outside that meeting. He goes, hey, you want to help me start a sober living? Brandon and I have been talking about it for a long time. We've had this
Mm-hmm.
LLC And we haven't like pulled the trigger. And I was like, huh, yeah, hell yeah, let's do it.
Right.
And within 30 days of that, we had a house, we had it furnished, and we had our first guy moving in. And we had changed the name from Next Step Sober Living to Cardinal House.
Oh wow.
And so we
And
had this little house
how
in
many
place.
how many cardinal houses are there
There
currently?
are 4 now, and we've
Right.
opened our outpatient like counseling center that
Okay.
offers intensive outpatient and outpatient like
Oh
individual.
wow. So you have an IOP now.
Hmm.
I like it, dude. That's cool.
It is.
So the medical piece to the puzzle.
Yeah, well, and our focus is like the personality disorders and other hangups relationally that might keep somebody from like diving headfirst into community-based recovery pathways and just kind of
Hmm.
dropping to their knees and being ready for whatever. Like we want to tend to that stuff. We want to tend to the stuff that keeps guys from falling in love, that keeps guys from, building good relationships with their employers. Like that's our focus.
Well, I like that because I think honestly, mental health is a huge part of it. I mean, everybody has their reason for using, and A, it's fun in the beginning, but then B, it's just so we can cope and so we feel comfortable. And, that's what a lot of people don't realize is that using is a coping mechanism to help you be comfortable in your own skin.
Mhm.
Yeah.
For some, yeah, for
Yeah.
some it is. And that's kind of why, like, I hear a lot of like therapists talk about, that's not true. I don't hear therapists talk about it. I hear marketers talk about like, we want to
Right.
get down to like the root cause of your drinking and using. And I
Mhm.
don't, that's not like our clinical model. Like we're
Sure.
not interested in doing that. In fact, my obsession with my feelings hasn't helped me. Right. And getting
Mhm.
down to the why doesn't help a lot of people either. So our focus is like real time, skills development, grounding, increasing self awareness. If I can understand
Right.
myself better, I can
Mhm.
know what tools I need to navigate all of these instances. And some of that will have to do with traumatizing events and, pre-existing mental
Right.
health diagnosis. But we want to avoid pathology. Like we're not trying to find all the things to diagnose so that you know what's wrong with you for the rest of your life.
Right.
But
Yeah.
anyway.
Well, no, and then it's funny you said that because that's kind of, like the conversation Ricky and I had. Uh, we were talking about that exact thing, like what how his story and his backstory. And what he shared with me was like I was like, well, I'll send you a bill in the mail.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just wanted it to be, like somebody that was working with him and understood him as a person to, talk about him more so than I could.
Yeah. Yeah, and you kind of said it. I think like so at his memorial service, a few of us got to get up there, and the commonality, like the thing that like was the brightest about him, is what he was able to see in other people and his
Hmm.
ability to draw it out of them. Like he commanded the best versions of us out of ourselves, and it made him, despite any flaws, which all of us have, it made him the right person to be kind of building this community of men helping one another. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Because he would sit in front of a guy that just sucked
Hmm.
and would see right through it. And it was a skill or I don't know if it was a skill, it was a gift that he and I shared. Where in the face of somebody who the world is like, yeah, I'm fucking tired of this guy. Mom and dad are tired, wife's tired, siblings are tired, treatment professionals are tired. It's like, dude, I see through it. That
Right.
to a fault, we always had this balance of like, we owe it to the rest of the community to not let somebody be disruptive, but at the same time, like, can we extend more compassion and tolerance and understanding, and as a result foster a sense of safety and draw what we see in him out. And Ricky was a fucking wizard at that, and he did it with me constantly. Where, we opened that first house, and him and I, just being the charismatic people we were, it was full in a
Mm-hmm.
month. It was
Oh
full in
yeah.
a month, and the guys were drinking Red Bull and working on fourth steps in the living room together. And 4 of those, that first batch, are still sober today.
Wow.
I went to one of their weddings a year ago, and anyways, just cool stuff.
Yeah.
And then we started having to say no to these treatment programs that wanted to send guys. And he was like, we need a second house. And I'm like, no, we couldn't.
Right.
And he was like, hey, God will provide, it's not up to us. And so anyways, at every turn, he just brought this like abundance,
Mm-hmm.
said, and it's sometimes to a fault, of course, but still he was this kind of
Right.
like beacon of light.
Right. And not to bring up or trudge up, history or whatever, but y'all had a falling out at some point. And then I think I love the fact that God gives us a chance to, maybe redeem ourselves. And so, speaking on that, I mean, and not to make you, I'm not trying to be Oprah here, but I know that there's a part of you that wished you would have said some things out loud and healed some gaps with Ricky. So,
Yeah, I think given everything that was, all the moving parts of his life,
well, and there were lots of moving parts. If you knew Ricky, dude, I love Ricky, dude, but lots of moving parts. So.
yeah, at one point he went to California for a month, and in doing so I said, hey, let's have you sign this, which basically just like proxies all of his ability to vote within our organization over to me
Mm-hmm.
for an indefinite period of time, but did not relieve him of any ownership. And then he comes back from California, disappears for a bit, and anyways, after, I don't know, months, a year, something, I remember I like sat him down in person and was like, sign it all over to me, and let's revisit down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Because what was happening is, like, I was doing all of it by myself, and the experience that our guys could have been having wasn't as good as it should have been.
Sure.
And I was talking to people that wanted to like be involved and help out, or maybe even invest and like different stuff, and it was like none of them would touch it until he like signed over the
Right.
rest of what he had of it. And so I went to him with that, and I was like, I'm not.
Yeah, and not to say anything super negative about him, but dude, look, we all oscillate, and he was he was on a down spot. He was on a downturn at that point, and I get it where you're a little bit of a liability.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and I mean, the way that I found to like separate myself was, he didn't have a lot of say in the matter, and that
Mm-hmm.
hurt him a lot.
Right.
And so from
It's
like,
like, yeah, because I started this with you, dude.
yeah,
So yeah, I
yeah.
get it.
Well, so I separated myself from him, and kept Cardinal House going, and separated the organization from him, and he was very hurt, and we did not speak after
Mm-hmm.
kind of our last conversation. And then like since then, with all of the folks who have gotten involved, and we've had some alumni especially like come in and be a part of like the operating of it. It's taken a lot of new, it's grown, it has
Yeah.
grown in size, it's grown in reach, it's grown in what what it offers, right? Like the IOP, we've got the Sober Living's a nonprofit, like it's a different thing. And
Yeah.
it felt like salt in the wound to even reach out to him when I thought of him and missed him and wanted to know how he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, I don't want him to suffer by him asking, how are things? Well, they're
Right.
fucking
Oh,
better
dude.
than they
Hey,
better than
dude.
they ever were, bro.
Dude. Yeah, dude. We're kicking ass without
Yeah.
you, bro.
And I
Yeah,
just,
dude. Like, I
because
mean,
that
it's
wasn't,
not
it
like
wasn't
that.
his
Yeah.
absence, I don't think. I
Right.
don't think it was his absence. I think it was the addition of who came.
Yeah.
And so,
But he was also the spark provider,
yeah,
if you will, because it
totally.
wouldn't have happened if it wasn't, and that's fine. But I think just as human, we try to go, oh, well, that was his idea and he's done this. And it's not a contest, man.
Yeah,
We're all in this together. It's just like, cool, man. We started something good
yeah,
and hopefully it helps some people.
yeah,
But I know you had a little resentment, or not resentment, but I guess remorse that you didn't get to hash things out with him personally before he passed.
yeah. Yeah, so I'm in California speaking at this recovery camp out and underneath the sequoia trees out there, and the hospital's reaching out, and they're saying, "Hey, we need to contact his family," and I think that we all know what that means. Someone's either
Mm-hmm.
dead or in a coma,
Mm-hmm.
and it hit me. You know what I mean? Just all of that. Like, you should have said something sooner, and you know. Anyways, they got a hold of his sister. She came in, and my wife went up there to see him a few times, and um, so enough of his family got involved and friends got involved, and basically he was on life support, and
Mm-hmm.
it was past the point of return. So the
Mm-hmm.
decision had to be, do we keep him plugged into this machine that just gives him enough juice to breathe, or do we pull the plug? And they decided to pull the plug. And at that time, sister called me and put the phone to his ear, and I got to say a lot of stuff about forgiveness,
Yeah.
forgiveness and apologizing and letting him know, like what you just said, like it's his fault. You know what I mean? I was selling pool tables, and
Right.
it's
I
his
love
fault.
it,
It
dude.
is his fault.
You started this good shit,
Yeah,
dude. Right.
yeah. Because the truth is, like, literally countless men and their
Mm-hmm.
families
Yeah.
have changed forever, and it was his fault. Like in every
Yeah.
way.
I love it.
He saw the best in people. I remember, I don't know how many freaking times he'd be like, "Hey, we need a manager soon, and I want it to be so and so," and I'd be like,
Right.
and then the guy, Trey, do you know Trey Brady?
I do not.
He's one of them, and
Okay.
I rolled my eyes so hard. Trey was such a good house manager for so
Mhm.
long, and we're really good friends in AA now, and he's got a baby, and like it's just.
Right.
And Ricky just saw it every time. And I don't even know, maybe he didn't see it. Maybe he was tapped into some alchemy shit and like made
Right.
people the
Yeah.
way that he saw them to be. I don't know, but at every turn, like because of him, something really remarkable that has impacted a lot of men, and
Mhm.
indirectly their families, was created. So anyways, I got to tell him all that, while I was leaning up against this like 250-year-old tree, and it was just
Mhm.
potent, dude. It was potent. It was, and I don't dig too deep into like what God is or how the universe, I don't know. You know what I mean? I want to like
Right.
keep kids alive and pay my mortgage. I don't know,
Right.
but I do believe, and I don't know what, religion this falls into, but, um, they're not going right. Like if I wanted to go and hit my knees and talk to him right now, I
Mhm.
get to do that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? He gets to
You
receive it.
don't even have to, because I think we're all part of the shared experience, and I feel that I talk I I have a dialogue with, you know, people that are past,
Right.
you know, because they're not, because, you know,
Collective.
it is what it is,
Yeah.
you know? So,
Yeah.
dude, did Josh almost get emotional?
You did get
And
emotional. Yeah.
I like it, dude. I like it, dude.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're a good dude, and you know, I appreciate what you're doing.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah. So, oh yeah, I forgot. Well, we've got about 5 minutes, dude. We can talk about. Hopefully, AI will capture this about how social media. We forgot to talk about that part. The social media, like, and how you have to present social media wise, everything is great.
Yeah.
Everything is great.
Well, I think that what happens is I don't know if it's that intentional. Like, I don't take pictures of myself when I'm tired of my 3-year-old being a 3-year-old, and I'm not
Right.
like,
Yeah.
oh, I want to die right now. Let's take a selfie, right? But
Right.
instead, when we go out to the fair or we do something cool, I want to capture that moment. And anyways, I think the result is
Right.
my life is really beautiful, and the highlight reel goes on social media. My life is also really
Exactly. I
challenging,
like that.
you know.
Right.
My wife she's the best. She perseveres, she gets up every day and she just shows the fuck up no matter what. And
Mm-hmm.
not even just in some like cold stoic, like, well, we're gonna get it done, but
Right.
like she directs.
Not some kind of coach way.
Oh,
Right.
she directs the energy of our home and like
Mm.
it being loving and vibrant and nurturing. And anyways, she says it the best. She said, our hands are very full and so are our hearts. And I'm like,
Ah,
damn,
I love that.
that's good. Like,
Yeah.
that's good.
I'm gonna steal that shit.
That's good.
Right. I need to have her on the show.
Yeah, do it. She's like working in treatment. She's like up at all hours of the night talking to drunk people at the bus stop, trying to help them get into treatment. It's
I
the
love it. Well, you know, I mean, Chad does that as well. So yeah,
Mhm.
so they're kind of simultaneous. You know, doing the same thing.
Yeah.
But man, I mean, you know, I've always looked up to you. You know, because you're a good dude, and you know, you've got a good heart, and you've helped a lot of people. So I would like to personally applaud that golf clap.
Thank you, Kelly.
Yeah, man. And you know, just keep on doing what you're doing. Now, if anybody wants to you know, maybe has relatives or whatever, uh Cardinal House, where can they reach you?
We've got 3 websites for the foundation, for the sober living, for the IOP, all with different types of information, but all have the same phone number. We've got TikTok, we've got Instagram, we got Facebook. So check us out online. I also started working for a residential treatment center in Houston called Black Horse, and they're doing some wild and cool stuff. They got people getting in cold plunges and saunas and doing breath work, and I mean
Oh
it's stuff
wow.
I'm like very
I
in.
want to do that. I'm
Come on,
in.
come
Yeah.
on,
Okay, seriously.
dude! They
I'm
have a
in.
pain track. We are out of time, but have you ever heard of opioid induced hyperglycia?
No, but it sounds fascinating.
Dude, I'm learning so much. They have like a pain program there.
Uh-huh.
And I met some clients as they were like wrapping it up, and they were like, I'm in less pain than I've been in 10 years, and I'm not on a freaking medication for it. This place is nuts. And I'm like, well, tell me more. And dude, they get so deep into the psychology and then
Right.
all the other, the functional, like integrated stuff. Dude, these tools are ancient. We've been
Right.
breathing since we've been here. We've been in
Sure.
the cold and in the heat since we've been like, this isn't new,
Right.
but used as an implementation, like the outcomes that we're seeing are fucking. Anyways, it's
Well,
fascinating.
and I love, you know, developments, if you will, like EMDR, right? Are you familiar with that?
Very familiar. Yeah.
So, I mean, there's, and then, I mean, obviously, ketamine therapy, the more dusty slash, fun route. But I mean, it's all designed to help you as a person and
Yeah.
to deal with whatever is bothering you, dude. And then here it
Yeah.
is, dude. What you do, here's the takeaway. Whatever happened in the past, let it fucking go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean,
I do.
let it go, dude. Yeah. There
Yeah.
is nothing you can do to change the past. Experience gained, cool, move on, And
Yeah.
it's tough to do. Easier
It
said than
is.
done.
It is. Well, dude, and I think that's why, like, I was just talking about some of the stuff that Black Horse does, but that's stuff that, like, I've integrated in the last couple of years of my own daily, like, spiritual walk. What my
Mm-hmm.
body stores and processes and holds on to, we can call it trauma, we can call it stress, we can call it whatever we need to call it. My body's holding on to it, and I'm responsible for
Mm-hmm.
that. I can move it, I can breathe it out and through my body, I can expose my body to cold and heat. I can, like, this impacts my mental health. It sounds like what's the guy on some, like, David Goggins, Joe Rogan, Huberman stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
it's not. It's like,
Right.
I just want to be a more present dad. And so if
Yeah.
taking charge of the energy that my body is storing and how that's coming out to my children, that's my responsibility. And I'll do any tool I can find to change it.
Right.
That's it.
Well, that was
And
deep, dude. But I
thanks
love
for
it.
having me
So,
back on here, dude. I love getting on
well,
here with you.
yeah, man. Well, I like talking to you just in general because I think you're sincere and a little bit, you got a little Matthew McConaughey vibe. So, you a little
All
Texas,
right, all
Oklahoma.
right, all right.
Exactly. A little Texas, Oklahoma charm doesn't hurt, And
Yeah.
I mean, hey, man, we are all just tailgating life, right, my brother?
Tailgating live. Hell
Well,
yeah.
anyway, man, be sure reach out, Josh Jordan, or what is it on Instagram?
Shwa Jordan, Shua Jordan.
I guess that's it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to your wife. Shout out to my wife. Shout
Love
out
her
to you.
lots.
Shout out to your kids, and and R.I.P. Ricky, man.
R.I.P. Ricky.
Yeah, love him, man.
Yeah, dude.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on, man. Be sure join us next week. We've got something good. I have no idea what because I'm shooting this episode with no pants right now from my house. Anyway, but appreciate you guys. Be sure to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And remember, kids, there is no magic pill for sobriety because if there was, we would all take too many.
Activate.